University of Southern California on the 18-yard line of the Cougars of Washington State. Opening drive for USC. This is Charlie Jones along with Nick Lowry as John Fox, the starting quarterback, rolls to his right. He throws on the run to Chad Pearson. The fullback, Steve Gleason, makes the tackle along with Torrey Holloman.
Well, a nice little play action, giving John Fox some room. He runs well. He's a good athlete. He's mobile. He runs out to his right, and there comes Chad Pearson, number 34, from the side with plenty of room, an easy target, and they get about, 10 yards?
And it's first down, 7-yard line, first down goal to go. The Trojans kicked off to Washington State, held it was 3 downs and out. They punted to USC, and USC, predominantly on the ground, has now scored on their opening drive.
Well, Charlie, we've got to give a special award to number 68, Brent McCaffrey, the left tackle for USC. Not only did he spring Chad Morton, but he did it with such gusto that his helmet came off and he kept on blocking.
And what always happens when the helmet comes off, somebody thinks it's a fumble and recovers it.
I always think it's their head.
Here is the extra point attempt by David Newberry. It is up and it is good, and USC takes the early lead. SC out in front of Washington State by a score of 7-0 with 10:29 left in the first. Welcome back to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. This is Charlie Jones, and along with Nick Lowry, USC in front of Washington State by a score of 7-0, scoring on their opening drive. This will be the second. There's Chad Morton. Morton scoring the touchdown. That is the 10th touchdown that he has scored this year. Brad Philly, number 22, and Curtis Nettles, number 18, are the deep backs on the return for the Cougars. Nettles on the near side, Philly's on the near side, Nettles on the far side. And David Bell will kick it away. 8 yards deep. He's going to run it out. Big gamble from 8 yards deep. Has the opening. And he's out to the 20, to the 25-yard line, out to the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. Curtis Nettles. That could be a spark for the Cougars, as Darrell Rideau finally runs him out after a gain of 26 yards. And you're looking at the back of the starting quarterback for the Cougars, Steve Birnbaum. 57% passing, only 3 interceptions. And that's been the key. He's thrown for 9 touchdowns. But they wanted him to cut down on the interception. And as Nick said in the opening, he's got a good arm. He has a strong arm, but he's not very mobile. He's trouble moving around. He sits in the pocket and he can be brought down.
Some people have called this offense basketball on grass, but it's all about matchups, getting the right matchup, speed against a slow linebacker.
And for the first time, they show 5 wideouts. This is a lateral, and we have whistles sounding before the play can get off. So there's a flag down.
Delay in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
With the 5-yard penalty, the first down will be first down and 15. Washington State now has 3 penalties for 15 yards. Chilly starting lineup. For Washington State, their offensive line, number 73, Ryan Raymond, is moving to right guard to left guard. Receivers, number 82, Nyland Taylor, needs only 108 yards receiving for a new career school record. And here's the give to Dion Burnett, the featured running back for Washington State. He has 761 yards rushing this year. Richard makes the tackle. Now let's look at the defense of USC. Their defensive line led by number 99, Ennis Davis, with a 30-yard touchdown interception. Last week, linebackers led by number 44, Abdul Malik. He's their most emotional player. And David Gibson in the secondary moved to strong safety from weak side linebacker, and he's always around the ball. So spotted at the 30-yard line. And coming up the middle, outside the 40-yard line again, is Dion Burnett. Ohalete makes the tackle.
Okay, for the Washington State offense, they've got to resume that dominance that Dion Burnett has given them, that's taken some pressure off of Birnbaum. And the other thing is they've got to throw deep. This secondary for USC is vulnerable to the deep pass. Now, the USC defense has got to play consistent 4 quarters, and they've got to stop Burnett.
Cougars now with 4 wide receivers. Burnett the remaining back, as he will be most of the ball game. Comes out firing, passes right on target. Nyan Taylor from Riverside, California. Chris Richard with the tackle. That is the 41st reception of the year for Taylor.
Oh, this is a great play. 41 distracts the defensive back. They're giving Nyan Taylor plenty of room, and it's a simple, quick post.
Coming into the ball game, Taylor needing only 108 yards to establish a Washington State school career receiving record. 45-yard line of USC. First time the Cougars have been in Trojan territory. 5 wide receivers. Go back. And again, they have found an open spot. This is Colin Henderson, listed as a slot back. By the way, his father, Jerry, was a quarterback for the Cougars, 65-68. Moreno, Zeke, the middle linebacker, making the stop for USC.
Colin Henderson is a great baseball player himself, athletes in his family. His father threw for 3,400 career yards in the 60s.
5 wide receivers. Birnbaum taking his time. Pressure comes. He's found a soft spot. And he is going right after it. Now, one of the things that Washington State is doing, they want to move their big men, their tight ends, their fullback, or their bigger receivers outside, hoping to pull the linebackers outside with them, keeping their small receivers inside. If the linebackers go outside, then they will run up the middle. This is one of the things they want to establish. Taylor, the intended receiver. There was a flag on the play. So with the penalty, the ball goes to the 23-yard line. Charlie, a late hit on the quarterback.
Charlie, it looks like USC's number 42, Chris Richard, is the target of this Washington State offense.
This is a bounce lateral that goes out of bounds. And we believe it was a backward pass. Let's see how they call it. They may have ruled it as a forward pass, which means it'll go back to the line of scrimmage.
Unless USC's defensive line can put more pressure, and unless USC adjusts, they're going to keep doing this until they stop them with the quick ends.
Colin Henderson was the intended receiver. Second possession of the ball game for the Cougars, in case you're just joining us. USC is out in front by a score of 7-0. Chad Morton scoring from 7 yards out. And here is Chad. Here is Dion Burnett, the mirror image of Chad. He's a freshman and he scores. So you're looking at a senior Chad Morton for USC and the true freshman Dion Burnett from Upland, California, as he scores from 22 yards out.
Charlie, they say you shouldn't separate identical twins. Well, they did that today. They moved to Ryan Raymond, number 73, to left guard, and look at this huge hole he makes for Burnett. It's like walking through the big front door.
And now the extra point to tie the ball game, and we are tied at 7-7. We have 8 minutes and 2 seconds left. We're in the first quarter. Back with the kickoff. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Dell Computer, pioneering direct internet ideas for your business. Be direct, be Dell. Chili's, a proud sponsor of ABC College Football. And smooth, refreshing Michelob Light beer or Michelob.
Ryan Lindell will be kicking off.
Ryan Lindell is going to kick off. And there's a story here. And it's number 58, Joe Getchus. And there he is. He's a fifth-year senior. He is a Rudy. Hasn't played that much. Been hurt all this year. But he is enthusiastic, and he is in as the wedge buster, and he's going to be on every special team. He's a hometown boy from Pullman, Washington. This is his final game for the Washington State Cougars, and this will be for him a day to remember.
It's wonderful that you get to see someone who loves the game as much as he does. So this guy gets excited about drinking from the water cooler during practice.
He says, all I know is I'm going to try as hard as I can and see what happens. That's all you can do. If you do that, then you know you've tried your hardest and you don't have to have any regrets. comes USC. Sultan McCullough, the running back. And now here's the chilly starting lineup for USC. Their offensive line, the right tackle, Travis Claridge. This is game number 46. He started every game as since a true freshman. Receivers, number 18, senior R.J. Soward. You look for him for the big play. Ball game tied 7-7, and we have jumping and flags. Either a false start or encroachment, moving across the neutral zone and making contact. All right. Now for USC, their backs and quarterback. And, of course, Chad Morton. He has already scored
Offside,
a touchdown in the ball game.
5-yard penalty. First down.
And Morton now has a total of 10 touchdowns on the year, and he is on track for a 1,000-yard season. He's been averaging 88 yards a game rushing, and that's enough to make it. He just needs to hold that average for the rest of the season. So now the ball at the 32-yard line.
First and 10 for USC, ball from 32.
Fox back to throw. Sets. Nice pass right on target as R.J. Soward was running the perfect route. Cut right down the field and was nailed out of bounds by Billy Newman. But a big play from R.J. Soward that is something that has been missing from the arsenal of USC.
This is the guy that's probably more feared than just about any other receiver now that Warwick's been out. He comes from the far side of the screen all the way across the field, perfectly led, and look at the speed. This guy runs about a 10-300. R.J. Soward is the man. If he can ignite this offense, they could score 40 points today.
42 yards on this big play. John Fox to R.J. Soward. 27-yard line of the Cougars. Sultan McCullough. And there's a flag on the play. So now let's check out the Washington State defensive line. Number 87, Rob Meyer. He's from West Vancouver, British Columbia. Number 1 draft choice out of the Canadian League already. Linebackers, number 34, Steve Gleason. The number 1 tackler in the Pac-10. And in the secondary, number 45, Marcus Trufant, a true freshman from Tacoma, and he has all the tools to be a great one. So the flag on the far side, it will go against SC.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
The ball placed between the 31 and the 32-yard line of Washington State. 6:57, that is the time remaining. An absolutely beautiful evening and a gorgeous sunset. It is really gorgeous up here today. And we were expecting snow.
First down on the 31-yard line.
First down, 31-yard line. Sultan McCullough. He is the fastest player in the history, football player in the history of SC. He has 110-17. He goes to the 25-yard line.
He's also the 5th fastest Trojan, period, ever. Pac-10 champion, tremendous explosiveness. He had a couple fumbles against California, tends to run a little bit ragged with his elbows. As he learns that discipline to protect the ball, we'd like to see him on kickoff return. He should be playing a lot next year.
Jabari Jackson is now the tailback. Fox's pass is complete to the right side as he goes to Wendell Hayes, the split in on the left side, and Lawan Gibbons with the tackle for Washington State. We have 6:15 time remaining. We're in the first quarter here at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. It is USC 7 and Washington State 7. SC scoring first, Chad Martin from 7 yards out. Washington State countered Deion Burnett, their great running back, from 22 yards out. This is Charlie Jones and Nick Lowry in this Pac-10 contest. SC driving again at the 14-yard line. A little bit of a draw, semi-delay for Sultan McCullough. And he's going to pick up a couple of yards, and that'll be it. Rob Meyer, the first man there, and Grady Emerson, the second.
Okay, the Dell game solutions for USC's offense, they've got to take advantage, adapt their strategies to Fox. He's a different sort of player. He throws deep. He's very mobile, and they've got to get that rushing game going. So far, their offensive line looks tremendous, especially the right side, Zach Wilson and Travis Claridge. WSU's defense, they've got to be flexible. They've got to be able to adjust to things that they don't expect, and they've got to stop number 7.
Ball Hackett rotating his running backs. McKenzie is now the tailback. Fox stands in, good protection. Now he scrambles. Now just a little bit of a shovel pass that's complete to Pat Swanson, the tight end. And Swanson goes near the 5-yard line. Good scramble, good recovery. Billy Newman with the stop. And Steve Gleason was finally putting the pressure on Fox. Fox now perfect. Is that right? 5 of 5 for 78 yards.
What I love about a mobile quarterback who's an athlete, whether it's Rich Gannon with the Raiders or John Fox, is he can create a new play out of nothing. And Pat Swanson was extremely alert. After his block, he turned around, saw the quarterback in trouble.
And there is Carson Palmer with the baseball cap on and the SC vest. Morton back in the lineup. Short yardage. Goes off to the right side. Needed a yard for the first down. It's going to be close. Meanwhile, somebody lost their shoe. That was Brent McCaffrey, the left tackle. And the fullback was... What's the fullback? Number 75. Isaiah Milo. This is the tank offense.
It's the sumo offense. This man was a sumo wrestler for 2 years on his mission in Hokkaido in Japan. He stays low, great balance. I do not want to be in front of him.
330 pounds. He leads, opens the hole. Meanwhile, Morton goes over the top, and that'll pick up the first down. It was 4th down and less than a yard. And they're inside the 5-yard line.
Charlie, when Paul Hackett was the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs when I was there in '93, we had a guy named Danny Salamua. It's something about Samoans. They have that low center of gravity. They're great athletes. And Danny was very effective for us in short yardage situations that year.
Steve Gleason is the injured player, number 34.
Injured player appears to be number 34, Steve Gleason.
Thanksgiving weekend, Spain's El Nino Sergio Garcia will compete in his first Skins game, and he will be joining Fred Couples, Mark O'Meara, and David Duval in one of America's favorite Thanksgiving traditions on ABC Sports. And that goes right along with the turkey, the Skins game, and we always look forward to that. And there's El Nino himself. That kid has such a great personality. He has this tremendous smile on his face all the time, and you go around and all of a sudden you're smiling as you're watching him play golf.
We're going to see those two, Tiger Woods and this man from Spain, playing golf against each other for the next 50 years.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be exciting. All right, let's go back and see if we can pick up what happened.
Looks like Gleason's left knee was bent back. Gleason is the heart and soul of this Washington State defense. He loves to hit. In fact, he doesn't mind knocking himself out on the tackle. Looks like he knocked out his knee.
We're going to step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. Captain Steve Gleason, the leading tackler in the Pac-10, with 98 tackles this year, including one in the ball game here and a career record of 282 tackles, and they're working with him now on the sideline on that knee. Meanwhile, it's first down and goal to go. And the tank goes inside, and going outside is Chad Morton with his second touchdown of the ball game, and the second time in the ball game that the University of Southern California has taken the lead. And Chad Morton now has 11 touchdowns on the year, the senior from Torrance.
Charlie, one player on the field actually has two different numbers he might wear today. He's number 98, but he also goes by 72. But in short yardage, as he did just then, Matt Welsh, 6'6", 300, who's had to overcome shoulder surgery, lined up on the right side at tight end and just blew in the left side of the Washington State line and gave it a very easy opportunity for Chad Morton.
Antoine Harris, the tight end, he's been bothered by a hamstring. Looks as if maybe bothering him again as he comes limping to the sideline. David Newberry will be attempting the extra point. He is 1-for-1 in the ball game. He's 31 of 33 on the year. But he has struggled a bit, as have the rest of the Trojans. He simply has struggled as a field goal kicker. And this will be to make it 14-7. And it is up. It is good. And USC is now out in front of Washington State by a score of 14-7 with 3:44. That is the time remaining in the first quarter as we take another look at the touchdown.
Okay, here you see from the side, number 98 just pushes him back in, and then he's got great lead blockers. Number 69, Zach Wilson, pulls, and it's an easy time for USC in the running game so far.
Both head coaches, Mike Price and Paul Hackett, now have equally established their running game, and that will set up their passing attack. All 3 touchdowns thus far in the ball game have been scored on the ground, 2 by Chad Morton and 1 by the tailback of Washington State, Dion Burnett.
One of the things that Marty Schottenheimer brought to the Kansas City Chiefs when I was there in 1989 was a dominating running attack with Christian McCoy and then Barry Word. When the other team knows they're going to pound you and pound you and pound you, it changes the texture of the game. And this is really USC's bread and butter. They've got to get back to this.
Curtis Nettles, 3 yards deep. No, they did it once before and got away with it from 8 yards back. They're not going to try it again. All right, tomorrow on ABC, the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating continues. The dynamic pair of Americans, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, skate in their second full season together. They'll battle the world's elite skaters in National Car Rental Skate America. The road to gold continues tomorrow at 3 Pacific on ABC Sports. And there you can see the gorgeous sunset that we're looking at here in Pullman, Washington this evening.
Well, it's definitely a red sky tonight.
Cougars start now with 3 wide receivers, and they go to the running game. And Dion Burnett is going to be cut down for a loss by Abdul Malik. And one of the first times that either ball club has lost yardage running.
Okay, coming from the left side of your screen, he just has a way of knifing through, dividing the line, and that aggressive quality. It's funny when one part of your team does well, it ignites the other side.
Now the Cougars with 4 wide receivers on the set. Birnbaum, left-handed quarterback, pumps. He's going to run with it and slides underneath. He picks up about 5 yards on the play, but I think you even had the feeling as a viewer at home, or if you're watching in a restaurant or a tavern, that Birnbaum is not very agile. He even just on that little 5-yard run, he doesn't look like a running back by any manner of means.
He's going to have to run today, but he's going to have to pay attention to people like Zeke Moreno, number 9, who's the most consistent player on the defense for USC. This guy can hit. He's physical, he's a leader, he's productive every game, and he was looking to take the head off of that man.
3rd down and 6. 5 wide receivers, no running backs. Quick drop on target and nailed. Whoa, big hit by Rideau on Curtis Nettles. Nettles had it, turns, tried to go downfield, and Darryl Rideau was right there. He'll come up about 3 yards shy of the first down. Good play.
Number 2, Darryl Rideau, is incredibly fast. He was state 100-meter champion as a teammate of Kareem Kelly. He was state champion in the 100 a year ago, and Kareem won it this past year.
Kareem Anderson with pressure gets it away. R.J. Soward is the return man. He takes it, sidesteps, makes a nice first move. He's going to head for the corner, look for a block. He's got his block at the corner, and it's finally taken out of bounds. Very nice return, and a very nice recovery by USC to set up the fence, the picket fence down the near side. Minute 28, that is the time remaining in the first quarter. 44 yards on that kick, and 13 yards on the return.
You know what I like about USC at this point? They're not shooting themselves in the foot. Special teams is getting excellent blocks. Mr. Soward is running very well, got plenty of room to run around the corner. The offensive line is playing well, but then after a good play in the past, they've had a penalty. They've been very highly penalized this season.
USC now with split backs. Morton and McCullough. And here is Sultan McCullough as they show split backs for the first time in the ballgame. We asked Paul Hackett, the head coach of USC, about the qualities of his quarterback, John Fox.
really like the way he competes, and his athletic ability fits in. And you know, he's not the pinpoint passer that you'd like to have, but he's a very exciting football player.
And that's the key. He says he brings excitement. He lifts the ball club. Morton now with just a straight shot to the 49-yard line. He's about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. Curtis Holden, the middle linebacker for the Cougars, was there to make the stop. And on the sideline, number 11, that is Mike Van Raaphorst. In all probability, we'll see him in the ball game because he has been in most of the ball games since Carson Palmer was injured. Sometimes he started, sometimes he's come on in relief.
He's not had a horrible season either. In fact, what I admire about Mike Van Raaphorst the most is the way he's handled the disappointments when suddenly Carson Palmer comes in and then suddenly it's John Fox, and he's done well, maybe not great, and they've replaced him, then they brought him back and they replaced him, but he's a team player, and that's all he cares about is helping the team.
We're at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. Pullman High School, by the way, as scores are going down the bottom of your screen. Pullman High School this afternoon defeated Othello 33-0 to move into the state quarterfinals next week. That was their first round game played here in Pullman at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So congratulations to Pullman High School. Until about 5 years ago, Pullman High School played their games here at Martin Stadium. And as a matter of fact, the fifth-year seniors that are here from Pullman, there are 3 of them, and they played their high school games here, and they visualized playing here also in college.
Well, all about the Cougars. It is about the Cougars and how they respond to this domination by the Trojans, especially their offense. The Cougars are going to have to find a way with their light defensive line of stopping that dominating line led by Travis Claridge, one of the best offensive linemen in college football.
And we mentioned the fact that Travis Claridge is starting his 46th consecutive game. He started his first game as a true freshman. He has started every game since. The Trojans have 2 more games remaining, and should he do that, that would start all 48 games without a redshirt year. It'd be the first time in USC history. 3rd down and a couple to go. Fox rolling, throwing on the move, and a one-handed high grab, and then that was Wendell Hayes, and then he puts it out in front as he goes out of bounds, hoping to get the ball past the first down marker. Let's see where they give him the mark. They're going to spot it not quite to the 48-yard line, and that should be enough for the first down, and just barely enough for the first down.
What a wonderful display of athleticism. The most consistent, disciplined route runner is Wendell Hayes, who transferred from junior college. Look at that. He takes a look, knows where he is on the field, and finds a way to get up that last 2 yards. This guy is the kind of receiver that a quarterback loves to have because he always knows where he's going to be. By contrast, number 18, R.J. Soward, with the best talent probably in the country, has not always been consistent as to how he reads his coverage.
Meanwhile, Curtis Holden, a middle linebacker blitz.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
He got there a little too soon. So that'll cost him a quick 5 yards. Mike Price told us yesterday,
Right.
You know how we hear that coaches will script the first 10 plays or they'll script the first 15 plays? He has scripted the entire ball game. He has the first 10 plays, and the plays that work, they'll run them again. He has another 20. The ones that work, they'll run them again. He has down and distance for all situations. That's the end of the first quarter. And he has a script for that. And the script says we're going to step aside. The score is SC 14, Washington State 7.
Going according to script so far.
Cue the students without their shirts. All right, they're ready to go. And it is a warm day. You can get away with it. 43-yard line. We start the second quarter. USC leading 14-7. Fox set, throws, and it's going to be incomplete. Kareem Kelly, the intended receiver. In the first quarter, Fox completed 6 of 6 for 81 yards. Birnbaum completed 4 of 6 for 32 yards through the air for the Cougars. And in the first period, USC total offense 133 yards, Washington State 78 yards.
Moving the ball, Charlie, has not been a problem for this team. They've been averaging over 400 yards offense. The problem has been being consistent, being dominating.
Fox gives to Morton. He pops through, has it, 30-yard line. Almost breaks the tackle, falls forward to the 25-yard line. The touchdown scoring Chad Martin. He has 11 on the year, including 2 in this ball game, and Torrey Holloman makes the tackle 18 yards from the line of scrimmage.
You watch Chad Martin run, and you see the right side of this line. Breaking back Zach Wilson, and then 71. We talked about Travis Claridge opening up an enormous hole again. And then our friend number 75, Milo, the sumo wrestler. It's pretty hard to fight, especially without Steve Gleason, number 34 in there. Washington State is back on its heels.
First down. Fox to throw. Has time. Now he has pressure. Steps away. Goes back edge of the end zone and overthrows everybody. R.J. Sauer, the intended receiver, and Eric Boos, the red-shirted freshman, was applying the pressure to John Fox.
Charlie, that was the first time I've seen a certain hesitancy in John Fox. He was so excited to have a chance to go into the end zone, and he was almost dancing back there. He didn't plant his feet. He didn't look comfortable. It didn't look like he had a clear read on the secondary.
Second down. 3 wide receivers. Malifo McKenzie, the ball carrier. Torrey Holloman, again, the strong safety with the tackle. We've had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and let's bring you up to speed on them. And here is the first one by Chad Martin. That one from 7 yards out. The counter punch, Dion Burnett, Washington State, from 22 yards away, almost a mirror image, a little longer. And Chad Martin said, well, I'll go to the outside route, tippy-toe in the corner, and you've got the 3 touchdowns that SC leads at 14-7. Fox to throw. Comes back way underneath the coverage to McKenzie, and McKenzie is dropped. Curtis Holden, the middle linebacker, makes the play for the Cougars of Washington State. USC on third down, converting previously 2 of 3 third down opportunities.
Well, a lot of discipline from number 1, Curtis Holden. He waits and sees McKenzie coming out from the backfield, stays with him in the flat, and makes a decent tackle. I wouldn't say it's the prettiest tackle, but he gets him down.
34-yard field goal attempt by David Newberry. Fox is the holder. Bad snap, but he pulls it down, has the distance, and he has the field goal. Newberry from 34 yards out adds 3 more to USC's total, and they're up by 10. 17-7. We'll be back with the kickoff. Welcome back to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. USC leading by 10, 17-7 with 12:58 left to go in the first half. David Bell is getting set to kick off, and the deep backs on the return are Brad Philly, number 22, Curtis Nettles, number 18. This is Nettles right at the goal line. He drops it, picks it up. That cost him some yardage. Now he has a straight shot up the line, and he gets away with it. Kind of a bit of a sloppy return, but he's out near the 20-yard line, which is at least what you want to get on a return.
Well, as Yogi Berra used to say, it ain't over till it's over. And USC's biggest problem of all is 3 consecutive games, starting with Oregon State when they were up by about 28 points. They almost lost that game. Then they lost to Notre Dame when they were up by 21 points. Then they lost again when they were up by 21 points to Stanford. So being up early does not mean a whole lot at this point. It's a great sign that they've had balance on the running game and the passing game. And now let's see the balance in terms of emotion, keeping the momentum.
Dion Burnett, the remaining back for the Cougars. And they open with 3 wide receivers to the far side. Play action fake, has a man downfield, and he hits the tight end, Russell Meisen. Meisen, the redshirt freshman, who is 6'3", 225-pound tight end, and that is only his 5th reception on the year, and it's good for 26 yards.
I love the fact they're going to the tight end here. They've got to. He's not really much of a blocker anyway. He's not going to help out in the blocking scheme. He's the only tight end that really can catch the ball, and it's something that USC has displayed has been a big problem for them.
And a nice touch. And meanwhile, whistles and flags are flying. And a chance for us to bring you up to date on Steve Gleason, who was injured earlier in the ball game. They are, at this very moment, x-raying his left leg.
Offsides, defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Against USC. They will have further evaluation on the left leg, and as soon as we receive that information on Steve Gleason, we will pass it on to you.
If I'm at Washington State, I'm going to go at Marcus Williams, number 8, the receiver, 6'5", 220, splitting out wide left at this point, and I'm going to go to 46 again and again until they prove they can stop it.
Ennis Davis was offside. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. And they take their linebackers with them, and so that means that Dion Burnett runs up the middle. Mike Price, the head coach of the Cougars, talking about the vision of Dion Burnett.
He's got great vision at the line of scrimmage and quickness to find the hole. Really good at that. He needs there's 3 things he needs to do. Find the hole, get through the linebackers, and then accelerate and run away from people. Right now he's getting through the hole just fine. And we're working on getting through the linebackers, breaking arm tackles, and the 3rd thing we want to do is having things to play.
And he said something else too. Here's Burnett again. Shut off inside, slides down the line, picks up a yard on the play. I said, what kind of a kid is he? He said, he's such a nice kid. He never misses a practice. He is always there. He said he's having a great time. And then he paused. He said, I hope he just doesn't grow up. Isn't that great? Because when they grow up, they change.
I guess we all do. You know, he loves to lift weights. There's a guy from Virginia, Thomas Jones, one of the guys they never mentioned for the Heisman, but Thomas Jones grew up 2 years ago by lifting weights. He got stronger, and suddenly he started breaking those tackles in the secondary and the linebackers. That's exactly what's going to happen to this man, number 20, Dion Burnett, next year.
2nd down and 9. Birnbaum to throw. Has time. It's incomplete. Colin Henderson, the intended receiver, and Quan Simmons breaks it up for USC. We have 10:58. That's the time remaining in the first half here at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. USC leading Washington State by a score of 17-7. Here's this week's Athletic Trivia question. What 2 Division 1A schools are in closest geographical proximity? I'll ask that question again after this play because it's a mouthful. Birnbaum, quick shot, and it is complete. He goes to Farwan Zubidi for a few yards. Here's the question. All right, I'll give it to you again. Here's the question. What 2 Division 1A schools are in closest geographical proximity? The closest schools that are closest to each other. That's it. 2 ones that are closest.
Say that fast 3 times.
No. And Division 1A. Meanwhile, Kareem Anderson is going to kick. Little pooch kick to the corner. What does he do? Oh, just missed it. Only missed it by a couple of yards. SC leads by 10. Back in a moment. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. By Nortel Networks. We're building the new high-performance internet. And by Burger King. Have it your way. So far, the Trojans are having it their way. They lead 17-7. They're at their own 20-yard line. They've got a little over 10 minutes to go in the first half. USC continues to rotate the running back. And this, without a doubt, a handoff to Sultan McCullough. John Fox, the quarterback, showed it very early as he stepped away from center.
Number 13, carrying the ball for the Trojans.
Marcus Trufant, defensive right corner for Washington State, makes the tackle. Here's Sultan McCullough, redshirt freshman, 5'11", 180 pounds. Has run a 100 meters electronically timed in 10:17. And here's the call on the flag.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
And the bottom of the screen, the scores of other games are going by. The University of Arkansas upsetting Tennessee today.
How about that? Where the Hall of Famer from Arkansas, Charlie Jones, went.
Sweep to the right side. It's McCullough. McCullough with a great speed cannot quite get the full corner, but he'll pick up some yardage. And UCLA in overtime defeats Washington 23-20. So that means that there are 4 still alive in the Pac-10 race.
This man is not a small man. He looks a lot bigger than 180 pounds, and he carries that weight with him. The problem is he's not as shifty, can't move laterally, so they got to give him room to the outside.
2nd down and 11. And we have jumping and movement, jumping by a Cougar lineman. And then I believe that was Mac McShane just went right across with him for USC. By the way, Antoine Harris,
offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Who plays for the Trojan. I'll say that on Antoine in a moment. Right now, here's the answer to the Affleck trivia question. Do you remember what the question was? Division 1A football teams are closest to each other. Well, look at this for the answers. USC UCLA is 12 miles. Start from the bottom and work up. Number 4, Duke, North Carolina. Number 3, Michigan, Eastern Michigan. And we'll get back to that as Sultan McCullough carries. And Billy Newman makes the tackle. And here it is again. Number 3, Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Washington State and Idaho from here. Is it Moscow? Moscow, 7 miles away. Rice and Houston are 4 miles apart.
Charlie, watching Sultan McCullough, this guy has great potential. He has fumbled a little bit, but he reminds me, when I see him running laterally, reminds me a little bit of a Christian Okoye, because if you string the guy out, he doesn't seem to have that ability to accelerate to another gear as he moves upfield.
Fox comes out throwing, pass is complete, and that's going to be all, as Wendell Hayes is stopped immediately by Grady Emerson. That will not pick up the first down. And so the Cougars have held the Trojans, and they'll have to kick it away. This is the first punt for USC today. Mike McGillivray will be punting. He has a 41.1-yard average, and Colin Henderson, an excellent return man, sets up shop at his own 30-yard line. It's a good kick, a little bit of a line drive. Sidesteps the first Trojan, and the second man gets it. 7:50, time remaining in the first half. The Trojans by 10.
Czech Republic team.
Welcome back to Pullman, Washington. University of Southern California 17, Washington State 7. And the Trojans have really dominated this series. But it's always been an exciting series. That's the good news. The Cougars now with the first down. They show 5 wide receivers and the shotgun. Downfield, sliding reception. It is caught at the 47-yard line.
Well, this is the surprise of the night, because we were told Leifert Hackett was out. We were told he was not going to play tonight.
And would not even dress.
With a sprained ankle.
And Leifert is there. He's their leading receiver.
A great pattern here. He just breaks it, a flag pattern to the outside. A little bit underthrown, but it kept it away from the defensive back.
David Gibson, the strong safety, picked him up. And it's always interesting in a broadcast booth when a number appears that nobody has written down. There's a giant scramble to find it someplace.
Hey, I think we're going to spank Mike Price after the game. But, you know, some players have an ability to just play. You just can't get them off the field. Marcus Steele, number 55, the linebacker for USC. He's playing hurt the whole year. He shouldn't even be in there now. And here's another one, 81, Leifert Hackett.
And Hackett now going to the sideline for a breather. 3 wide receivers and a running back. This is the set. Birnbaum to throw. And he overthrows his intended receiver. And that was Farwan Zubidi. Antoine Simmons had the coverage, but he was about 3 steps behind Antoine. And a little more touch on the ball by Steve Birnbaum, and the Cougars would have had another big one. Well, that's Birnbaum's reaction. He shouldn't have been pleased with himself because it was there. But right now, the Cougars need a couple of big plays. They're a big play offense. Paul Hackett said, I don't want to get in a shootout with him. Mike Bryce, head coach of the Cougars, said, I'd love to get in a shootout. Only 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back. And throwing down the far sideline and overthrown incomplete. Chris Richard had the coverage on Nyan Taylor. And Taylor was just on a streak pattern down the sideline. So it's 4th down.
That's when I wish they'd gone at number 8, Marcus Williams. He had the height differential. He's a big target, and so that even if he's not open, he can jump for the ball. Chances are it's not going to be intercepted, and he's shown tremendous potential the last few weeks.
Kareem Anderson will be kicking. This is his 4th punt of the ball game. Distances 33, 44, and 39. Soward with the fair catch at the 13-yard line. R.J. Soward and Chad Morton were the deep backs on the return. Next Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific, ABC Sports kicks off college football doubleheader with a battle of Big Ten rivals. Michigan, fresh off that win over Penn State, they will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Then in regional action at 3:30, UCLA and USC, and Penn State, Michigan State. Next Saturday on ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series. So now from their own 13-yard line, USC will go to work with just under 6.5 minutes time remaining in the first half. Trojans comfortably in front by 10 points. Fox steps back, a little swing pass to Morton in the left flat. Towards 2 would-be tacklers. Nice move to the inside. And Morton may pick up 5 yards on the play. Grady Emerson with the tackle. Well, he won't make 5. He'll make about 3.
Well, you've got play action, you've got motion of Soward going to the other side, and yet here's a guy who's playing linebacker 3 weeks ago who's looking extremely smooth. In fact, smoother than a lot of quarterbacks who've played for the last couple years.
Here is Morton from the top of the eye off to the right side. The fullback is Charlie Landrigan, and Eric Boos makes the tackle. And you'll hear the boos, boos, boos in the background.
If there has been a weakness for USC in their running game, it's that they really haven't found a fullback to replace Petros. I can't even pronounce his last name, Charlie Petrogalis, who was injured early in the season. Just changed their whole strategy. They really were so deep at running back, and that's when Kareem Kelly, number 82, is split out wide, came into his own.
3rd down. Fox the throw, sets up deep, now being chased, and we've got a whistle and flag. The call for the referee, Pat Flood.
Out of the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
A lot of false starts in this ballgame.
You know, to be fair, there's Petrogalis right there. Just, you know, a guy whose body didn't look like he was that big, that strong, that fast, but he was the kind of player that just got it done, tough as nails.
And also one of the nicest young men you ever want to meet. He's an absolute delight to be with. 3rd down and 13. Fox slips a bit, set, throws, underthrows, incomplete. It will be 4th down. The Cougars have held. Kareem Kelly, the intended receiver. Marcus Trufant was there for the Cougars.
Well, you watch Trufant on the inside here. He's been the biggest surprise for Washington State. The guy's a true freshman, and he's become their best cover guy. He's just got a gift for it, and he stays with a guy who I think is going to be the next Lynn Swann for USC.
Colin Henderson backpedals about 10 yards, avoids 1 tackler, and 2 more get him. And they nail him at the 45-yard line, where the Cougars will take over. So they have good field position. Their defense has dominated the Trojan offense the last 2 timeouts. And here's a look at the return.
Oh, it's a decent punt, but what I've liked about USC's coverage today, I know I keep talking about USC, but I'm waiting for them to make a mistake, to show that lack of focus that they've had the last few weeks. And they have it on coverage. They have a net. They have a man on either side and right in front of the returner, so he really doesn't have anywhere to go.
Ifani Ohalete making the hit for the Trojans. 53 yards on that kick and an 8-yard counter punch. 44-yard line. First down. Deion Burnett tries the left side. There's not a lot there. Now, the Pac-10 today, an interesting day. Bring you up to date. First of all, Oregon defeats California 24-19, so Oregon stays in the race. The reason they stay in is UCLA defeated Washington in overtime 23-20, and Stanford won their ball game, so here are the standings. I'm sorry, they're up 26-10. That game is still going on. There's a look at the Pac-10 standings. USC in this ball game is up over Washington State by a score of 17-7. 45-yard line. 5 wide receiver. 3-step drop. Right over the middle, incomplete. Kind of interesting body language from Birnbaum. It's almost as if he stopped the play. Just he didn't stop, looked, just kind of tossed it forward.
What I like was the body language of Ennis Davis, the monster in the middle, number 99 for USC, who last week not only returned the interception for a touchdown, but he jumped and hurdled in the end zone. Birnbaum, maybe he's feeling the pressure in Ennis. Look at the way Ennis gets his hand up at the last second there. Some people just intimidate, and that's one thing number 99 does.
SC showing blitz. They back out of it. Birnbaum throws downfield a little behind the intended receiver. And the intended receiver is Leiford Hackett, number 81. And so it's going to be 3 and out for the Cougars. They'll be kicking to R.J. Sauer. Kareem Anderson will punt it away for the Cougars. There he is, number 9, and R.J. Sauer doubles that number. He's 18.
Kareem Anderson really is a very good punter. He's got a 36-yard net. He's very good inside the 20.
Good kick. Sauer lets it hit, and it's going to be down at around the 7-yard line.
Number 9 is also a martial artist, and one of the things that people don't understand, it's not enough as a punter to have a great leg. Charlie, you've got to have great hands. You have to have the ability to maintain balance, catch the ball, and drop it onto your foot so you can spiral it. Spiraling the ball is not easy to do. Otherwise, I would have been able to punt too. This guy is a tremendous athlete, and his martial arts gives him that sense of kinesthetic awareness where he can balance himself, and he drops the ball consistently every time. He could be a pro punter.
47 yards on the kick. Adam Hawkins downed it, and you're the first broadcaster I've worked with that used the word kinesthetic. Way to go.
Thank you.
It's a new record. First down for USC. Basically, they spent the last 15 minutes in their own territory trying to overthrow double coverage, and he overthrows everybody. Kareem Riley, the freshman. Was it Kareem? No, it was R.J. Sauer. Lawan Gibbons, along with Torrey Holloman. Double coverage on R.J. Sauer.
Well, I talked about Sauer, how we need to have him make a big play in this game. They're doubling up on him, and they're keeping number 29 deep, Torrey Holloman, to give him that chance because he's just so darn fast, but the ball's thrown too far inside. What I'd like to see is basically Washington State has said, we can't cover number 18. We're going to double him. That means 82, who's also a nice little 10-2 runner, Kareem Kelly, should get free for that deep ball.
Morton is stopped and then pushed back. Stopped by Marcus Trufant. Cougars defense, the last 3 or 4 times that the Trojans have possession, have really dominated that offensive line of SC. We're moving on the 3-minute mark, time remaining in the first half. USC 17, Washington State 7. The margin is 10.
Bill Dober's done a great job. I mean, they've had 9 starters out. Torrey Holloman, Billy Newman, Reynold, Curtis, Lamont, Earl Riley, Mark Hedin. 9 different players.
Fox to throw, down the sideline, and it's out of bounds. Kareem Kelly catches it, but he catches it just out of bounds. Marcus Trufant was there with him, It's going to be 3 and out again for USC. And again, the Cougars will have good field position. There it shows it right out. The left foot was out when he made the catch. Made a good catch and a very tough pass. It's coming right over the top of your helmet.
Well, the left foot was out, but the right foot was almost in. That was really close.
Colin Henderson is the return man.
Look for them to go after 82 again in the second half.
Doesn't turn over, hangs up. Fair catch taken at around the 48 or 49-yard line. She recently entered the LPGA Hall of Fame, Julie Inkster, and she headlines the field tomorrow of the PageNet LPGA Tour Championship. It will be live on ABC at 1 o'clock Pacific. Sayre Pack was there, and Lori Kane they are tied at 10 under. And Julie Inkster, as of the middle of the afternoon, was about 4 or 5 shots back of the co-leaders, but we don't have the exact number on Julie. But I'm so happy for her to be in the LPGA Hall of Fame. She is an absolute delight with her husband and her 2 kids, and she says the best thing about it now is they're both potty trained. And that gives you the reality of the LPGA Tour.
Her concentration level's gone up.
Oh, yes. She says it's a lot more fun. 48-yard line of USC. Birnbaum, here's the screen. Screen forms, and it's all right there. And behind the screen is Dion Burnett. Nice play. First time that the Cougars have shown that. Del Rideau with the tackle for the Trojans.
Nice screen. They just clear out the side. 82 Nyan Taylor, 41 Farwan Zubidi just run straight up the field and give some room. And that's probably the first big play of any length in about 10 minutes.
We'll bring the chains across for the measurement as we take another look at the screen.
Of course, the ability of any quarterback to sell a play, whether it's a pass that's deep or short, is his ability to look off the safeties. And that was all about timing. Birnbaum looked to his left, and only at the last second did he turn.
And we're just inches shy of the first down.
It's about like a 3/4 of an inch.
USC with a record of 3-6 for Paul Hackett. They have lost 5 in a row. The Cougars of Washington State, their record is 2-7 on the year, and they've lost 3 in a row. Both coaches there are very upbeat about the ending of the season, about the games remaining, and about the team that they have. Now there's a couple of cheerleaders of the future. 3 of them. This is short yardage. Quarterback sneak. Popping through. And headed to the far side is Burnett, and he finally goes out of bounds. They popped him open. They couldn't turn him downfield.
Charlie, the last time the Washington State Cougar offensive line was being effective was when they were running for that touchdown behind Ryan Raymond, number 73. You've got Meisen on the left side, 46, 73. Ryan Tujay, 74. They get a good quick burst, and that's all it takes for Burnett.
Burnett now has rushed for 63 yards, 10 carries, an average of just over 6 yards a carry as he heads for his 1,000-yard season. And a first down for Washington State. And here he is again. And he is cut down right at the corner by Ohalete.
Well, the speed of Burnett is proving true. I mean, they know he's going to the left here, but Marcus Steele, who's not slow by any right at linebacker for USC, is not getting around the corner, and that's allowing Burnett to get an extra 3-4 yards the last 2 plays.
You've heard the statement, it's a college town or a college city. Well, it's interesting here in Pullman, Washington. For those of you that haven't been here, the population is about 25,000, and 17,000 of the 25 are students. So it truly is a college town, and everybody stays here. And the weekends, everybody is here. They stay. They don't go away. This is a lateral, and a throw downfield. It's caught at the 4-yard line. It's going to be a touchdown. Marcus Williams scores the touchdown. That is his 4th touchdown of the year off of the lateral. Birnbaum to Colin Henderson to Marcus Williams. Extra point attempt. Is good. And the Cougars pull within 3 of USC. With 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the second quarter.
Well, what a tremendous block by 82 Nyan Taylor right just before that, which freed the thrower to have a chance to get it to 82. When we were talking about Marcus Williams, his size, he's 3, 4, and 5 inches taller than Antoine Williams. Actually, he's listed 5'10", and throws behind. Washington State has not done one of their throw behinds all day. It's a good time to do it. It's really tough for the defensive back too, Charlie. I mean, you're taught to stay with the guy. You're not supposed to look back until right at the end. And if the ball's underthrown, it's almost impossible to react as quickly as the receiver does.
And so that famous combination of Birnbaum to Henderson to Williams, and all of a sudden the Cougars are right back in the middle of this ball game.
Well, Henderson is a baseball player, so he took advantage of his ability to throw. It wasn't pretty, but it got it done.
Chad Morton and R.J. Soward are the deep backs on the return. Ryan Lindell will kick it away, and it's high and way short. And it's taken by one of the up-backs, and that's Chad Pearson. And he'll be stopped around the 25-yard line. So USC will go to work now with 1:50 left in the half. Adam Hawkins making the tackle for the Cougars. SC had 8 first downs in the first quarter. They had 1 first down in the second quarter. And their last 3 possessions are 3 and out as we go to the last touchdown. Well, that's a lateral, so he can throw off him. That's the key. And the leaping catch.
Perfectly executed. Well, Charlie, I wanted to say something about that kickoff. One advantage in college with the wider hash marks, if the kicker lines up on the left side as he's kicking down the field from the far side, he's got an extra 5 yards to kick the ball on that short sort of kickoff, that pooch kick high to the 25, and it really does not give the return team any time to set up. So it's a lot harder to do that in the pros. The ball actually has to travel quite a way, so you have hang time as well.
Malifo McKenzie is the remaining back. He was the ball carrier a minute ago. This pass is high, and it is pulled down by Kareem Kelly. USC, by the way, has 2 timeouts left. We have 1:10 time remaining first half. Marcus Trufant with the tackle.
Kareem Kelly is just plain smooth. I mean, it's one move, one quick step, nothing too fancy, but he's so smooth it doesn't really convince you how fast he is, and before you know it, he's past you.
SC now with 3 wide receivers. Fox to throw. Right on target. It is Kelly again. He stepped to the inside, and then he decided to go outside to stop the clock. He's going to get the clock stopped on the first down. But we had a flag. A flag was dropped back at the 34-yard line.
Well,
and it's going to go against SC. So they'll bring that one back. But meanwhile, Kelly should head immediately for the sideline. We now have 51 seconds remaining. You've got to manage the clock from here on in the half if you're SC and if you're going to try and accomplish anything.
SC's got to get the ball, Charlie, down the field to their kicker.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Let's see how they overcome this. Their kicker has only been 2 for 6 outside 40 yards this year, and he's had 1 48-yarder, but he really hasn't shown a very strong leg, and that means they need to get down to close to the 20-yard line.
On the draw. Nothing there from Malifo McKenzie. The Cougars simply closed the door on him. Maybe a yard. And again, SC taking a lot of time to get the play in.
Newbury's only 9 for 16 this year. He missed 3 field goals in a crucial game in overtime that they lost against, I believe it was, Oregon. And from that point, that was one of those things that really contributed to the confidence of this USC team.
Fox rolling to his right. Flag is down. He sets. He goes deep. Shows the strength of his arm. The official is taken out by the defender. Gibbons, who turned on the sideline, wiped out the official. The All the players were out of bounds. The ball was out of bounds. The official was on the ground. And meanwhile, there was a flag back at the line of scrimmage. It will go against SC again, probably for holding.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous stop. Little forward pass play. Repeat second down.
Total penalties now for USC. That was their 7th, that holding penalty. The total is 65 yards.
Lots of little nitpicky penalties tonight.
Seconds time remaining on the ground. Malifo McKenzie, Rob Meyer with the tackle. The clock is stopped at 4 seconds. SC had 2 timeouts. Did they take one of them, or did the Cougars take one? Cougars took a timeout.
Now that's an interesting decision.
All right, we'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go away. All right, we're back. Everyone contemplating the timeout that was taken by the Cougars. We're still really not sure because it is 3rd down.
Our astute statistician just pointed out that the yardage is 187 for the Cougars and 189 for USC, and in particular, for the last 10 minutes, USC has barely moved the ball 10 yards.
Chad Morton rambles to 000, so that means that time is officially out. That is officially now the end of the first half in a very close ball game. At half, it is USC 17 and Washington State 14. The margin is 3. We'll be back with Valvoline Halftime 99 after this message and a word from our ABC station. Welcome back to Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. This is Charlie Jones along with Nick Lowry. The University of Southern California, they'll be receiving to start the second half. They're out in front of Washington State by 3 points. The score is 17-14. And number 58 is Joe Getchus, that we mentioned about him earlier. He is kind of part of the Rudy movie, you might say. He's a 5th-year senior, hasn't played all that much. He has been involved in all the practices. He had an injury this year that took him out of most of the play. But the other kids all just really love this guy, and they say he just bleeds Washington State. And he is on all the special teams today. This is his last home game, and this is a special game for him. And here's R.J. Soward on the return for USC at the 15-yard line, and he is down at the 15-yard line. We mentioned the score, 17-14. Let's take a look at the touchdowns in the first half. USC started the scoring. Chad Morton from 7 yards out, and that is his 10th touchdown of the year. Deion Burnett, the counterpunch for Washington State, 22 yards away. That is his 12th touchdown on the year. Morton gets his 2nd touchdown of the ballgame, number 11 on the year. And then it is Birnbaum to Henderson to Marcus Williams. Add in the field goal at 17-14 SC.
Return, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First half.
And the USC still is plagued by injuries. We have good news on Steve Gleason. The x-rays on his knee, his left leg were negative, and he is on the sideline. The word is they're going to tape him up, and he'll be playing again. So SC now starting at their own 8-yard line to open the second half, and the last 3 possessions of the first half prior to the last one, 3 out of the last 4, were 3 and out for SC. And here's Chad Morton. And Morton back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all that he is going to get.
Great play by Rob Meyer. I get the sense, Charlie, this Washington State defense is smelling blood. Look at Meyer. He just blows through the initial contact, keeps going, and Chad Morton, who really is going to be a key to the second half for USC, is stopped before he gets a chance to get going.
There is Steve Gleason, number 34. He is the leading tackler in the Pac-10. Outside linebacker for Washington State. Fox scrambling in the end zone. That can be dangerous. Throws and almost intercepted. Whoa. Almost picked off by Billy Newman. R.J. Sauer, the intended receiver.
We talked about continuing to do what John Fox does comfortably. That was not a planned rollout. He was uncomfortable. He was feeling the pressure from the outside. He never got his feet set, and he almost threw an interception. Let's see some more planned rollouts. This guy is a great athlete. He even can run if he has to.
Third down. To throw. Far side. Soward has it. Out of bounds. Has the first down. R.J. Soward picks up the first down as we take a look at the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats. Nick?
Well, it really comes down to this statistic right here. USC in particular has caused 29 turnovers, but they've also shot themselves in the foot. Each of the last 3 weeks, they've essentially had an interception given up for a touchdown by the other team, and that set them back. And if they'd had those 3 interceptions back, they may have won all 3 games. So far, they have not hurt themselves.
First down, USC. Here's Chad Morton.
Chad Morton, number 7.
Juan Gibbons with the tackle for the Cougars.
Tackle Juan Gibbons.
For USC to be dominant again in the running game and overall in the second half, they're going to have to go behind their bread and butter, Travis Claridge. This guy has, as we talked about earlier, 46 games in his career. He started all 46. He's an he's a potential All-America, should be an All-America, dominant player who can block 2 guys on any one play.
Charlie Landrigan is the fullback. Chad Morton, the tailback in this set. Second down and a couple of yards. Little play action fake. Fox is in trouble. Scrambles out. Slips one tackle. Has the corner and has a lot of room. He's to the 50. Points out he needs a block. Does not get it. Goes out of bounds.
Did I say he could run?
Whoop, yes. Nice move right along the line of scrimmage when he was looking for that left corner to turn upfield, and he found it.
Well, the other thing about a former linebacker is they love to hit. We're talking about Steve Gleason, number 34 for Washington State. This guy is not going to shy away from a hit. He runs about a 4.6, 4.5, and look at him directing traffic. He does not look like he hasn't played quarterback in a year.
He wanted Sauer to close and pick up a screen block for him, but he wasn't able to do it, and a gain of 37 yards. The line of scrimmage now the 35-yard line of the Cougars. Big play for John Fox. Morton again, right side. And he goes near the 30-yard line. We're at Martin Stadium, Pullman, Washington. Southern California 17, Washington State 14. This is Charlie Jones along with Nick Lowry, and we are just a couple of minutes into the second half of this ball game. And the first possession of the second half by the USC Trojans, where they started back on their own 8-yard line, and now, courtesy of that 37-yard scramble by their quarterback, John Fox, they are at the 31-yard line of the Cougars.
And courtesy of some great blocking from 71 Travis Claridge and 69 Zach Wilson, opening it up for Chad Morton.
Little play action and a roll right. Has the corner. He wants to run. Throws back. Bad decision. He had the corner for another 5 yards, maybe the first down to run for it. But he goes back to his fullback, Landrigan, and didn't make any kind of a throwing effort at all.
You remember in the first half, they did the same kind of play where, luckily for John Fox, he had Swanson, number 84, the tight end, come back, and they had a quick little dump off. On that play, that's just showing, I think, a little bit of that rust that he's still shaking off from not playing for so long.
Paul Hackett, the head coach of the Trojans, said, in a way, it's like his touch that goes. You know, if you're a golfer, you lay off for a while, and the first thing that goes is the putting. He says, and that's it. The touch has gone. But it's coming back, and we'll come back in a moment. We're back. It is third down and 6. USC has converted 3 of 9 third down opportunity. Here comes the blitz. Everybody's coming. Rolling, throwing into coverage. A flag is down. It is overthrown. And we'll check out the flags at the far 20-yard line where R.J. Soward was. LaJuan Gibbons had the coverage. You always think pass interference. It's going to be defensive holding. Now let's go to New York and John Saunders.
Here's your Burger King update. Virginia Tech knows that Tennessee lost. They get a win. They're likely going to go to number 2. Michael Vick with the toss. Chiron Stith takes off, beats the defenders. Nice block there to the end zone for the touchdown. And Virginia Tech grabs the lead, but they've just fumbled, and Miami has the ball.
Well, you can't count out Virginia Tech, and those of you with a little faith when they were moved from 3 to stay in 3 when everybody thought they'd move up and Tennessee did, well, maybe they're answering all of their critics. It really makes it fun, though. Flags are down. The handoff is to Morton. Morton around the corner and out of bounds.
Nothing helps your running game, Charlie, better than an offside by the defense. And Ford has done a great job. You see Coach Price there. I mean, how many times have they done it tonight? And he either kneels or gets the ball snapped just when they're offside. And suddenly it's first down and 5. Another disturbing thing for Washington State right now is that interference call on LaJuan Gibbons, because R.J. Soward just needs a little bit to light his fire, to know he has that little bit of edge.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So with the penalty, the ball now at the 16-yard line. SC up by 3. They're in field goal range, and they have a first down 5. Here's Chad Morton going for his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. He's going to have 3 or 4 yards on this one.
Chad Morton, the ball carrier.
Here's this week's Applebee's game fact. It's a family affair. 3 sets of identical twins play for Washington State. Reed and Ryan Raymond, they are both starting offensive linemen. Usually they start next to each other at right guard and right tackle. But Ryan has moved to a left guard in this ballgame. They're both playing very well. Blake and Matt Klinnerman, and Brandon and Ryan Pickering. There are 5 other sets of brothers on the team, so Washington State, it truly is a family affair. That's your Applebee's game fact.
Well, USC is definitely running to the right side, and the guy who's been consistent week in, week out, who's really been the only guy who's been there for them without getting injured, except for Travis Claridge, has been Eric Denman. He's usually so injured that he only practices once a week, but this guy is a leader. He hates losing, and right now he's linking well with Zach Wilson. On that last run, Zach Wilson was a good 8 yards downfield. You like your linemen to get that initial block, keep their feet, and get in the way even farther down, and that's why Morton has got a consistent running game going today.
We had a little official delay to get everything organized, and now we're set to go. Soward goes wide to the far side. He is the only wide receiver in this set. Morton, big hole right up the middle. And he's going to be pulled down at about the 1-yard line. It's going to be first down and goal to go for USC.
Well,
and Morton wanted that 3rd one. He wanted that 3rd touchdown of the ball.
This is a critical drive for USC. One of the things that you have noticed about Washington State, if you follow them, is that in the 3rd quarter of every game this year, they've been outscored a total of 83-17. When you show them as the other team something they're not ready for, they can't make the adjustments.
Here's the tank offense. Mahilo is the lead fullback, 330 pounds, and Morton is right behind him. Touchdown. And Chad Morton has his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. Fa'asa'a Mahilo, 330 pounds, 6'5". He's a sophomore. He is the big fullback that opened the hole. Now, another look.
Well, you just can't stop somebody this big. All you need is an extra couple feet. I'm just very impressed with the play calling. Who would have expected USC to line up the play before in double tight end? And the pattern has been for Washington State, when you throw something they don't expect, for whatever reason, in the third quarters, they can't make the adjustment.
Chad Morton now has rushed for 91 yards. The extra point is up, and it is good as SC stretches their lead, 24-14, back with the kickoff. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you. By Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. We measure success one investor at a time. By the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all that you can be. And by Inspired Technology with a human touch. Nokia, connecting people.
Well, it's now 90-17 that WSU has been outscored in the third quarter. If it stays true to form, the kickoff should go into the deep left corner. Keep Curtis Nettles, 5'7", 160, in a bind.
Hackett is back with Nettles. He bounces it, and now he's committed. He's out. And now he slips and falls to the 4-yard line. Very poor decisions by Curtis Nettles. Matt Dalton, number 16. See him right there? He was down on the kickoff team. Well, wait, number 16. That's a quarterback's number. Well, he is the emergency quarterback.
Actually, Curtis Nettles has fumbled 2 kickoffs now in the last quarter.
And you saw number 16. He is the number 3 quarterback behind John Fox, Mike Van Raphorst, and then it's Matt Dalton, number 16.
You know, they say special teams is kind of the litmus test. It's the temperature of a team. And right now, USC's special teams, their coverage has been excellent.
USC's opening drive of the second half, 92 yards in 10 plays for the touchdown. Birnbaum, little play action, lots of time. He goes deep. If he leads him off, he hits him, he's got him. He had about a step on the cover man. Now, interesting, they're going to throw a flag, and I completely disagree with this. There was some pushing and shoving, but it wasn't of any consequence at all.
Well, unfortunately,
Antoine Simmons, number 6, had the coverage on Nyan Taylor.
In college, they don't tend to call those as often. Boy, and in the pros, though, you see somebody shoving. Usually it's the guy that's had something done to him. But then
reaction.
The referees always get the guy that's reacting back.
And we'll hold a small conference on it.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. Half the distance. Second down.
It's a very costly penalty. It's a personal foul from downfield on the intended receiver. All right, now here's Birnbaum. Ooh, that could be called roughing, but it wasn't.
It's all about timing.
Ford. And we'll show you what happened at the end of the play in just a minute. Leon Burnett just trying to get a little bit of room. They're working out the room for the kickers. Now right side of your screen.
We've got good coverage there.
See, there's pushing from behind by the Trojan, by number 6. And Simmons, and then once they got past it, then Taylor pushed Simmons from behind is what happened when they threw the flag. It was right in front of it.
I was circling Antoine Simmons because he had grabbed Nyan Taylor's wrist and was pulling him along, and I think that's one of the things that upset him.
Cougars are in trouble with a safety. This is just thrown up for grabs. It'll be a touchdown. Chris Richard has an interception and a touchdown for the Trojans. And it was Zeke Moreno and Antoine Simmons applying the pressure to Steve Birnbaum. And a terrible decision by Birnbaum, up for grabs. The second touchdown for Richard on the year and his 5th interception.
I just don't understand it. Here's a guy that's only thrown 3 interceptions. The one last week, in fact, was tipped. He was under tremendous pressure in the end zone, but to force that's absolutely the antithesis of what this guy has done for his whole career, particularly this year.
So add 6 more for the Trojans. Here comes the extra point by David Newberry. And it is good.
The extra point is good. It's the
So
Trojans
very
31,
quickly,
the Cougars 14.
USC is now up by a score of 31-14. And the time between scores, 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Well, you had a fumble on the kickoff return, then you had the penalty on Nyan Taylor, and guess what that produces? Extra pressure on your quarterback while he's in the end zone, and he panics and throws the ball up. It's a killer.
And now the pressure applied to Steve Birnbaum.
Zeke Moreno is just relentless. He's going to be going as hard in the fourth quarter as he is in the first quarter. There he is, just a tremendous leader for this team. And in spite of all the adversity, 5 straight losses, he's continued to play well every game. The good news for Washington State is that in the fourth quarter, USC has been outscored 82-40 this year.
Leifert Hackett is back as a return man, and he has switched positions. And if the ball does stay in the field of play, then he would have been the return man. And Nettles has gone to the other side. Next Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific, ABC Sports kicks off college football, a doubleheader with a battle of Big Ten rivals. Michigan, fresh over that win over Penn State, they take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Oh, that's a big showdown. Regional action at 3:30. Penn State and number 17, Michigan State, UCLA, and USC. Next Saturday, ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series on the West Coast. That second game, UCLA-USC, will start at 12:30. A little swing into the right flat to Deion Burnett. And Burnett is chased out of bounds.
You remember Burnett was doing well at the end of the first half in the second quarter. He finished the first half with 11 rushes for 67 yards. I'm glad they're staying with Steve Birnbaum because Paul Menke, his replacement, threw for 6 interceptions last year against USC. Very simple swing out pattern. Low percentage. High percentage, excuse me.
Antoine Simmons busts him out of bounds, and there is number 12, Paul Menke, backup quarterback. Birnbaum calling an audible. Goes to a quick out and has it right down the near sideline to Fawon Zubidi. Ifeanyi Ohalete makes the tackle.
Don't get me wrong about Paul Menke. He's a great athlete. He's a basketball player. He's going to play well. He's got a future. But the bottom line is that Steve Birnbaum has not made too many mistakes tonight. Give him a chance to see if he can get this team back. USC has shown a pattern of falling apart when they get ahead.
4 wide receivers. Puck fake, Birnbaum. All right, and Mike Price, the head coach of the Cougars, talks about his quarterback, Steve Birnbaum.
He's second in the Pac-10 passing percentage at 57%. He's thrown the fewest interceptions of any quarterback in the league. But around here, we're comparing him to a little bit different standard of quarterbacks. You know, when our fans see Ryan Leaf play for 3 years and Drew Bledsoe and then Steve Birnbaum, there's a little bit of a natural drop-off there.
That was the first sack of the ball game, and by the way, first sack of the ball game period by either team. Adam Hawkins is now in as the running back for the Cougars. SC suffers another penalty. The ball goes to their 49-yard line. First down.
Believe me, USC will give Washington State another chance.
5 wide receivers on the set. Birnbaum just drops it over the middle, incomplete. He's thrown that pass about 3 times. He's going to Curtis Nettles. He's not been very effective on that little short pass of about 8 yards in the air. It's almost as if he tries to be too gentle with it. He's much better, I think, when he has to throw it either deeper or throw it with more authority.
It's almost as if he throws off his toes on those. He's kind of not on balance, and he doesn't have a sense of the timing, because when a guy's going across the middle right in front of you, running, say, a 4.5 40, it's incredibly difficult to get the timing right.
Second down and 10. 3 wide receivers. Uncovered. Here's his screen, incomplete. Had to get rid of it before anybody could develop. And all kinds of pressure was coming off of the corner from Antoine Simmons. Zeke Moreno was also coming. Adam Hawkins was there to try and provide some protection, and really nothing happened.
You know, I just hope that USC doesn't think it's got this game wrapped up, because it does not. It's made 2 penalties now in the last few plays, and there is no reason for that.
They're going to call roughing the passer on that play. Boy, I'm not so sure. When you're coming off of a corner blitz, if you can stop when you're a step and a half away.
There's not much you could do except maybe just dive to the side a little bit, and you still probably hit him.
And you've got to see that in real time, because in slow motion it looks like he's got all the time in the world. But in real time, there's, you know, you're talking split seconds to pull up or to veer off to the side. Here's the draw. Burnett pops loose to the 30. Touchback. Nice move. To the 20-yard line. First down. You pick up about 13 or 14 yards on the play before Ohalete makes the tackle.
Easy for you to say.
No, it's not easy for me to say.
Well, perfect timing on this. I mean, he hesitates. He totally jukes Zeke Moreno, who has a nice block on him, makes it into the secondary. And USC has shown a little bit of a weakness once you get past that first 2 or 3 yards after the line of scrimmage up the middle. They've given up a number of touchdowns right down the heart of the field.
SC leading 31-14 now from the end zone. Very nice play by Marcus Steele, number 55. Oh, 55 is a big number at USC in the NFL. Chris Claiborne, Junior Seau, Willie McGinnis, they all wore 55. Near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And beginning this year, Chevrolet will also donate 2 $1,000 high school scholarships. That's coming up later in the ballgame. 5 wide receivers. To the short man on the near side. And that's Zabidi.
And when you say short man, you mean it. He's 5'8", 171, extremely quick, number 41, Farwan Zabidi. But he's a steady player. Usually plays on the inside slot. He's somebody that has not been taken advantage of tonight too much.
And Steele with a tackle. Here's the Pac-10 today. Oregon wins. UCLA defeats Washington in overtime by 3. Third quarter, Stanford is leading Arizona State. And here in the third quarter, the Trojans are leading the Cougars 31-14. Quarterback draw. Just a little delay. Tap your feet. Go to the 5-yard line. Nice move.
Another thing about being somebody that doesn't like to run too much, if that was Marcus Allen, Zeke Moreno would not have gotten a clean shot on him. But Steve Birnbaum did do a good job holding back a planned run by him, and Moreno just nails him.
Antoine Simmons and Zeke Moreno both there, 5-yard line. Birnbaum making a comeback. Remember, not too long ago, he threw it up for grabs from his end zone, cost him an interception and a touchdown. Following the kickoff, this is the drive. There's the fade pattern. It is caught. There's a flag, but it is caught. Perfect timing on the fade pattern. And a nice touch by Birnbaum.
Really, the tail of this second half could be a lot to do with the number 82, because 82, Nyan Taylor, with his size and his ability, really perhaps the top receiver in the history of this Washington State football team, and number 82 on the other side, Kareem Kelly.
By the defense, penalty decline, touchdown.
For Taylor, that is his second touchdown of the year.
Well, perfectly thrown, and you gotta give Steve Birnbaum credit. I mean, he is keeping his poise despite a very embarrassing mistake in the end zone just a few minutes ago, and suddenly it's 31, about to be 31-21 if they make the extra point.
Ryan Lindell to attempt the extra point. Green Anderson, the punter, is the holder. Eric Larson is the snapper.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Taylor's second catch for the touchdown. The extra point is up, and it is good. The margin is back to 10 points, 31-21, and there it is. We'll be back. It took the Cougars only 2.5 minutes to get the touchdown. They pieced together the 80-yard drive in 8 plays, and guess what? They're perfect in the red zone. They've been in the red zone. That's inside the opponent's 20-yard line 22 times, and they have scored 23 times. They scored 23. 20 touchdowns and 3 field goals. Onside kick, and the Cougars come up with it. Senior Saturday, and they try it all. And right now, it's working. It hit a USC player. Of course, the ball doesn't have to go 10-yard lines if it hits a receiving player, and then can be recovered by the kicking team. Otherwise, it has to go 10 yards.
Well, Charlie, when you watch the film of the other team on kickoff, if they have a pattern, which USC did, of turning their head just a little bit, especially after the first couple, they're always coached not to turn their head till the ball's kicked, but then they sometimes get lazy, and that's what just happened.
John Morgan, it hit John Morgan in the back. And the Cougars have the ball at their own 43-yard line. Again, they're down by 10 points. We have 7.5 minutes left in the third. Dion Burnett, the ball carrier. Now an update with John Saunders in New York. Hi, John.
Hi, Charlie. Nice to talk at you once again. Wyoming against BYU. BYU trying to wrap up the Mountain West. Tim Beasley here. 14 yards on this run. 31-10 was the lead at that point. 31-17 is the final. Wyoming knocks off BYU. Charlie.
Boy, that is interesting. Here it's a 10-point ball game, and right now, with the hot hand, it's the Cougars. And the pass is incomplete, pops into the air, and then out of bounds. Burnett, the intended receiver. Lonnie Ford was there.
Mentally, when you keep taking these risks, they're well-chosen risks, it really helps your team's confidence. You start thinking about ways to create opportunities, not what can go wrong.
They're down and 8. If the Cougars have failed in one category in the ball game, that's on third down. They are 0 for 6 third down conversions, and they are now 0 for 7 in third down conversions.
In fact, Ennis Davis almost had his second interception in 2 games.
And so the onside kick paid off. They were not able to cash in. And Kareem Anderson is going to kick off. 47-24. Stanford over Arizona State. That ball game is in the fourth quarter with a lot of time remaining. Chad Morton and R.J. Soward are the deep backs to return the punt of Anderson. Stanford still in the hunt for the Rose Bowl. Bad gamble, but fumbled out of bounds, so they get away with it. That was R.J. Soward. It's USC 31, Washington State 21. 6 minutes, 42 seconds. That's the time remaining here in the third quarter at Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. USC leading Washington State by 10, 31-21. And SC has the ball. They stay on the ground, looking for a sweep to the near side with Suatan McCullough, who has that great speed once that he can get around the corner. And the Trojans in this ball game have used all of their running backs. Chad Morton, of course, has scored 3 touchdowns. McCullough has seen a lot of action along with McKenzie and Jackson. They are the 4 tailbacks who have been rotating. But, of course, Morton has carried the blunt of the load. And the rushing yards that we were just alluding to. Again on the ground. A little preservation of time, working on the clock. Full-time McCullough brought down by Grady Emerson.
I'd like to see a statistic of USC's efficiency running to the left as opposed to the right. At least since the end of the first quarter, there's been a clear difference.
Cougar fans they are vocal, I will tell you that. And Mike Price, their head coach, talked about it. He says, our fans are different than all the other fans in around the country. And now Morton's back in at tailback, and he's out to the 30-yard line. That was 3rd down and 7. He picks up only a couple. And that means that SC will have to kick it away. And Washington State will have one more opportunity. And they still have a lot of time remaining. The fourth quarter plus 5 minutes here. So there's 20 minutes of action still left. Leifert Hackett, by the way, is the return man. He was not even supposed to play. He's a great wide receiver for Washington State. And he's the return man. And he steps up and he has it. And he's to the 40. And he stops, and he is immediately swarmed under. Here's a program note. Tomorrow on ABC, the ISU Grand Prix of figure skating continues. The dynamic pair of Americans, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, skate in their second full season together. They'll battle the world's elite skaters in National Car Rental Skate America. The road to gold continues tomorrow at 3 Pacific on ABC Sports. And there was a holding penalty. So we will sort that out. The flag was dropped back at the 31-yard line.
Irrespective of the call, the coverage continues to be excellent by USC's punt coverage.
Here's the call.
Holding on the kicking team. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 4th down.
And they'll get a kick over. And that means that Leifert Hackett will have another opportunity. Or is it going to be Colin Henderson? No, it's Hackett. Henderson started out and they called him back.
There was a hint by Washington State that they were going to go after McKillivray, but they really have not yet tonight. Of course, there was also not only a hint, but a statement that Leifert Hackett was not even going to play.
Terrible kick, high and short and out of bounds. And so the holding penalty seriously costing the Trojans yardage again. So the Cougars with excellent field position with an opportunity. Only 29 yards on that punt. And that is way below McGillivray's average of 41.1 yards.
Coach Slocum, the special teams coach for USC, not happy with that punt. He should be happy with the effort that's being made. Other than that, they have done only things to help them until that play.
Shotgun, 4 wides. Overthrows everybody. He looked, he saw coverage, and he simply threw it away by going too deep for everybody. He better throw it deeper than that, though, because David Gibson almost got back to it.
Coach Price told us that he had scripted virtually the whole game. In other words, plays that were working, they would go back to. One of the plays that worked was passing up from the side, right up the numbers, to number 46, Russell Mize, in the tight end. We have not seen that, even though they really have not proven that they can stop it.
Second down. Here's the draw. Maybe a yard and maybe not a yard. Burnett dropped at the line of scrimmage by Ryan Nielsen. Birnbaum has completed a little under 50%, 12 of 25 for 129 yards, and that costly interception that he coughed up to Chris Richard, and Chris ran it in for a touchdown.
We haven't talked a lot about Ryan Nielsen, number 90. This guy may be the toughest defensive lineman. He is productive. He's a blue-collar type, but he plays every down, and the guy is just plain mean.
From the shotgun. Pressure from the outside, now from the back. Gets it away. Pass is complete to Marcus Williams. Williams to the 5-yard line. Williams, who scored the touchdown on that burn bomb to Henderson to Williams, caught this one and then just scooted right up the middle.
Well, I was talking about the size of Williams, 6'5", 220. He was left completely alone in the flat. And Chris Richard, 42, number 6, Antoine Simmons, were a good 10 to 15 yards down the field, left him alone. And it was really an easy one from there. He had all the field to work with.
43 yards on the play. Williams now 2 receptions, 67 yards and a touchdown. Birnbaum, here is the draw. And Burnett is cut down by Ryan Nielsen again. We're moving on the 3-minute mark. Time remaining in the third quarter. And USC leading by 10 as the Cougars want to cut that lead to 3.
I just like Marcus Williams. He really is having the knack of coming up with the big play, and he intimidates those smaller defensive backs.
Burnett, the remaining back, 4 wide. Going to an audible. Audible owning the right side. Here's the draw. Burnett. His momentum will take him to about the 3. Now, here's something interesting. You know, they could throw a flag on that if they wanted to. Because once that whistle sounds, you've got to make your release defensively. Not talk to him. And that was Zeke Moreno.
There's been a noticeable increase in the trash talking by both teams. Nyan Taylor did it after his touchdown. Zeke Moreno and the defense. Look at this, though. You got to give USC credit. They are playing with some intensity, but, you know, win the game on the field in a fair way. Those sorts of things are going to hurt your team, and they're not really what the game's about.
The ball is on the 3-yard line, and it is 3rd down and goal to go. Play action fake, throws the fade, pass is incomplete, flag is down, it'll be pass interference. Corey Scott, the intended receiver, Ifeanyi Ohalete.
Well, that was beautifully timed. It was not poor play by Ife Ohalete, but he hit him just a little bit early. I think it was a good call by the referee.
Here's Pat Flood.
Pass interference on the defense results in automatic 1st down at the 2-yard line.
And remember, that was 3rd down.
Washington State using misdirection on a lot of their plays. Ohalete had his hand on the back. The other thing that's tough, when you have your hand on the back, you're leaning against the guy. The referee at the back of the end zone can't see a whole lot.
Burnett and Hawkins. It was Hawkins, the first back through, who was the ball carrier. He is going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. It'll be 2nd down.
This is a gut check for both teams. USC in the 4th quarter, a big, almost goal line stand on the 4-yard line that could have helped win the game.
It's Reed Raymond who is down. He is the offensive right tackle and the twin brother of Ryan Raymond, who normally plays next to him, but is the starting left guard in this ball game. All right, we'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. They're still working on Reed Raymond, that last carry by Adam Hawkins, the one of the running backs or tailbacks for the Washington State Cougars. That is the first carry by a tailback other than Deion Burnett in the ballgame. Of course, Steve Birnbaum, the quarterback, has scrambled some and also has had, there's the twin brother, number 73. That's Ryan Raymond. And you could call them the Twin Towers because they're both sick. Well, Ryan is 6'7", Reed is 6'8". Ryan weighs 317 and Reed weighs 316. Of course, both are juniors.
Ryan's done a good job at left guard today, too. I think it's helped kind of equalize the strength, the relative strength of this offensive line for Washington State. Okay, so Reed Raymond, number 70. There he is.
Here in time, the crowd supporter Cougar athletes,
He gets caught underneath everybody, doesn't he? A mass of humanity.
Looks like he may have bruised his right kneecap. He just hit it very hard on the hard turf there. This is a sand-based turf. They rubbed sand into it, and it was really quite popular when they first did it in 1990. But if they don't keep redoing that every year, just like all artificial turf fields, they start to get real hard.
And you know, from the two shots of the brothers, I can't tell them apart.
The only thing I can tell is just one has darker hair than the other.
Now for the 1-yard line. It is Hawkins. Does he go in? No, he does not. No sign as yet. That was second down.
Tremendous play by Marcus Steele, 55, just hurdles over the pack. Great timing. Just superb timing. That's the only way you can stop that play when you've only got a few inches to go. Just a tremendous athletic play, and nails him right where he needs to. I mean, you have to have keen play all around, but that was excellent.
Third down, as you can see, about 4 inches to go for the touchdown. Thielbar and Burnett, the running backs. It is Burnett, and he's going to lose some ground. He'll lose maybe a yard on the play, and it will be fourth down. And you're trailing by 10. And you've got 13 seconds and counting.
Well, Ennis Davis, number 99, number
Marino.
52, Marino, number 9. They're all in there, and they're playing with a greater intensity. 55. This defense for USC, I mean, 20 of the 22 players on this USC starting team will be back next year. Consistency is the only thing that stands between them and being in the top 10 in this country. It's a big thing, but by next year with their experience, they're going to be a very good team.
Into the third ABC Sports presentation. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC station. Jeremy Thielbar and Dion Burnett, they go for the touchdown, sustaining a field goal attempt.
That was about
USC holds and they take over.
That was as close as you can get. I hope we get... This is a tremendous effort by USC. And a great effort by Washington State as well. I mean, it's tremendously close.
It's the ball.
It looks to me like they made it.
It looks to me as if the ball, all it's got to do, all it has to do is break the screen of the end zone.
Good call right up the middle.
Jeremy Thielbar, 238 pounds. I thought it broke the plane of the end zone, which is all that it has to do.
Sure looked like it.
A flag is down. Pass is incomplete. R.J. Sauer, the intended receiver. Marcus Trufant had the coverage.
Pass interference on the offense. Penalty declined. Second down.
Well, John Fox still looking like he's keeping his poise in a very tense situation deep in their zone.
SC leading by 10. Crowd becoming very vocal. Not a lot there for Chad Morton. It'll now be third down and about 7, maybe 8 to go for the first down. Kangaika was the first man there. Tomasi Kangaika and Billy Newman the second for Washington State.
Travis, go ahead.
Crucial defensive stand for Washington State. They need to hold him here, force him to punt. USC picks up the first down. They can come to life. This is Morton, and he's out to about the 7-yard line. It'll be 4th down, and that means that the Trojans will kick it away. And any kind of return for the Cougars, and it's going to be Leifert Hackett, the return man. Any kind of return, they'll have superior field position.
USC wants to make sure they don't give the other team an opportunity, but they don't want to lose that sense of aggressiveness.
Low kick. Return of 5, 10, 15 yards. Flag is down. A good return, but a flag dropped to the 38-yard line. Hackett on the return. And so often in this game have penalties been such a turning point of good field position. And this could be costly to the Cougars. It will go against Washington State. So rather than having the ball at the 27-yard line, it will be back upfield. Trojans out in front of the Cougars by 10, 31-21, 13-26, time remaining in the ball game. 5 wide receivers on the set. They change the balance to the other side. That's a lateral. It is complete, and down the sideline and racing away is Colin Henderson. Zeke Moreno with the tackle for the Trojans. Now that penalty on the punt return in reality cost the Cougars 34 yards. They would have had the ball down at the 27-yard line of USC, but it was assessed from the spot of the foul, and that took it back upfield.
And that would mean now they'd be on their 10-yard line instead of their 43.
And the total penalties, USC 109 yards, Washington State 58.
What a great call, Charlie. I mean,
22 flags dropped. Ooh, that's a lot of flags.
Going to Henderson, though, after he threw that touchdown pass earlier in the game from that same play, that froze the safeties and defensive backs for USC.
And this pass is complete to Marcus Williams, who has scored a touchdown in the ballgame.
Marcus Williams, number 80.
One of the more exciting ones that we've seen recently. And that was Birnbaum to Henderson that you were talking about, and then to Williams. 2nd down. It'll be 2nd down and 2 as we move on the 13-minute mark of time remaining. A lot of time.
Gain of 8 yards.
At the end of the first quarter, SC led 14-17. At the half, the margin was 3. The Trojans 17-14. And at the end of the third, it was 10-31-21, the score that we have now. And now with 4 wide receivers and 1 running back. And right straight through is Dion Burnett. And then he is chased out of bounds, being hammered along the way as the Trojans try to knock the ball loose. Chris Richard, who has the interception, the touchdown, and Zeke Moreno, the middle linebacker, he's been everywhere today.
Well, Ennis Davis really didn't do anything on this play. Lincoln Walton Shoe 64 gets him caught up in his hands, and that's all it takes for Dion Burnett.
The ball just outside the 28-yard line. 1st down. Moreno trying to hammer the ball out of the grasp of Burnett before he got out of bounds. Here comes the blitz in the side. And nobody picked up Moreno. And they say Moreno is better outside than he is in the middle. And he's been awesome in the middle tonight.
That's right. If Lonnie Ford 25 goes out, Moreno may well go, Sultan Abdul Malik goes out, then Moreno will be on the outside. But he is so consistent, Charlie. I like the fact that USC is remaining aggressive, taking well-chosen risks.
35-yard line. 2nd down, 17. Burnett cannot slip the 2nd tackle. Out of the grasp of the 1st tackler, but Gibson gets him. Cannot get away from the 2nd man.
If there is an advantage for the kicking game in field goals, it goes to Washington State. Ryan Lindell has kicked a 57-yard field goal in his career, 5 over 50, a 52-yarder this year, and they're just inside his range already.
Third down, 16. 3 wide receivers on the near side with a double slot. from the shotgun. Left-hand throw, drills this one, and Williams goes up and brings it down. He's got it around the 27-yard line. Interestingly enough, where this series would have started if there had not been a penalty on the return.
Well,
Ahalete was there.
That was a better matchup in terms of size. Ahalete's 6'2", 220, but something about the athleticism of Marcus Williams, when he gets in the air, he's a bigger player.
Now from the 33-yard line, an attempt of 43 yards for Ryan Lindell. It is no good. It is no good. So he misses. There was a high snap. He got it down, but he misses from 43 yards away. Tonight's game is brought to you by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform, be different. By Microsoft, offering e-commerce solutions for any business. By Valvoline, you can always tell the guys who use Valvoline, and by Nike. 10:23 time remaining. Oh, what a gorgeous moon tonight. Every time I see that shot, I think about, remember when, 1969 when man first went to the moon? Oh man, what that must have been like. 27-yard line, USC with the ball and the lead. They need to do a little damage to the clock. Chad Morton, who has scored 3 touchdowns in the ball game and is knocking at the door of 100 yards rushing.
Chad Morton carries the ball.
Curtis Holden, the first Cougar there. Eric Boost, the second.
Like I said about Travis Claridge on the right side of the line, when you've got to get a first down, this guy has got the strength to hit you with his one arm, his right arm, knock you completely out of the way, and then move on to the linebacker. That's power.
Chad Morton now has gone over 100 yards. He has 103 yards in 23 carries. Pass interference. Has to be. Lawan Gibbons got there way before the ball got there. I'm not really sure that Fox had thrown the ball by the time he hit him. Wendell Hayes, the intended receiver. It'll be pass interference.
What I like about John Fox on this play is, this is a critical time in the game.
Pass interference on the defense. Automatic first down. Spot and foul.
Lawan Gibbons being a little over-aggressive, but the ball also was thrown in such a way that he couldn't intercept it, and I like that. John Fox is truly getting better with each game. He's played a very good, solid game for USC.
First down at the 35-yard line. 9:39 on the clock. Everything is closed up inside. Morton heads for the corner, and he doesn't get there. He goes a long ways, but he doesn't pick up any yardage. Tomorrow on ESPN and an AFC West battle, the Denver Broncos. They're heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Well, they're there tonight. They'll take them on tomorrow. Monday on ABC, Bill Parcells, the New York Jets. They'll play spoiler when they face Drew Bledsoe, the New England Patriots. The 30th anniversary season of Monday Night Football continues live at 6 Pacific on ABC Sports.
Well, 81, Antoine Harris has not been a big factor tonight. He pulled his hamstring last week. It's time to go to that tight end. He's not been utilized. Pat Swanson's got great hands.
From fake and going deep and incomplete. You mentioned Antoine Harris. I started this earlier in the telecast, and then we got away from it. They have 2 Antoine Harrises, and one did not make the trip. The one who did not make the trip, today's his birthday. He's 23 years old. Hope that he's watching the telecast, and happy birthday, Antoine. And R.J. Soward comes up lame.
It looked like it happened after the play. He started to limp after the play.
Third down.
Might be a cramp.
8:46 time remaining. And the crowd starts to get back into the game. Drills this one over the middle. Should be a first down, and it will be a first down by just about a yard. Very nice pass from John Fox to Wendell Hayes, and he was wrestled down by Billy Newman.
What a beautiful route by number 86, Wendell Hayes. They say he's one of the best pass route specialists in the country. And you see the discipline here. He runs up the field 10 yards, straight across the field, right along the 10-yard marker, and in a beautifully delivered ball. I mean, right on target. This guy is not rusty. John Fox is playing a great game.
The ball at the 46-yard line. And we've got whistles and flags. Fox really, as you said, playing very well today. They play SC, plays UCLA next week. There has been speculation. Carson Palmer a week ago said...
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Said that he'd be ready to play in that ball game. There's Soward trying to loosen it up on the stationary bike on the sideline. We talked to Paul Hackett about it. He said they're evaluating him. They'll make a decision tomorrow. And I said, why in the world are you even thinking about bringing him back? And he said, to beat UCLA.
Yeah, well, I just don't see any way that they're going to play him. He was wearing blue, they said, UCLA blue last week to send a message, but it's nice to see USC's focus still on beating the Cougars.
And here is Morton running, and now Paul Hackett. Speaking of Carson Palmer.
To start rehabbing a shoulder, and he actually threw 30 10-yard passes or lobs yesterday just to get the mechanics of the arm action. And we'll continue. He came on the trip with us here so that he can do the same thing here. They can continue the rehabs. They can continue working on him. And we'll take a look on Sunday and see how he's progressed and make a decision early in the week. I think it's a long shot, Charlie, at this point to have him play.
And it is a long shot. And also Fox is playing very well tonight. That makes it a bit of a longer shot. Chad Morton. Morton fights his way into Cougar territory. Now let's go to New York and John Saunders. John?
Charlie, Miami and Virginia Tech, and how good is Michael Vick? Watch this play. Should have been a loss. Goes out to his right, drops the ball, picks it up, runs and rolls out, and then tosses one to Browning Wynn, who picks up a first down. This leads to a field goal. They now lead it by a touchdown. Charlie.
Oh, thank you, John. What if Virginia Tech wins the national championship? That's awesome. The fact that they have a chance to do it is awesome. This one in reality is just being thrown away. He's getting rid of it and overthrowing everybody.
And Michael Vick is barely a freshman.
Barely a freshman? How can you be barely a freshman?
Well, he hasn't played that long.
Okay.
Mike McGovern, USC.
Fourth down. So SC will kick it away. 6.5 minutes left. There's not a return man. It's a terrible kick. And it's going to go out of bounds around the 15-yard line. We'll be back with the last 6+ minutes in a moment. Mike Price, talk to us about the Cougar fans.
Some of the schools we play at, the crowds clap. Ours, they yell, they scream, they get after it. And they're students, and they're all fired up. And when we win, it's a great night in Pullman. When we lose, it's not a very good night. Everybody goes home.
Well, it's still in the balance. 5 wide receivers. The margin is 10. Opening up with a complete pass to Zubidi. No flags were thrown, but you can hear the reaction of the crowd, and they are involved.
Well, that was Darrell Knight, number 17, a great athlete, 6'3", 215, one of the better coverage linebackers.
All right, now you're out of bounds, and you're hit out of bounds. Things that go
Maybe just a little overly enthusiastic there.
Boy. And we're at crunch time in the ball game, too. You need to make those calls. Adam Hawkins, the ball carrier. Second down.
Washington State's offensive line, really, you got to give them credit. They've not buckled since that awful forced interception. They've come back, and they're going against probably the second best defensive line in the Pac-10 after California, which I think is the best defensive line front seven I've ever seen. But USC's defensive line is playing well, and yet Birnbaum has gotten time to throw the ball the second half.
And they continue to run now. And this is just going to run right out of bounds. Dion Burnett. Antoine Simmons just takes him out of bounds. The clock continues marching, and the reason why it is moving is that when he was taken out of bounds, he was taken out of bounds going backwards. So they give him his forward progress. So the offset is the clock continues to run. If he's going out of bounds while he's running forward, then the clock is stopped. So that's the trade-out. They get the extra yardage. He gets his penetration or his forward possession. He's going backwards out of bounds, and the clock continues.
Here we go.
4th down and 3, 5 wide. It is there. It is the first down. Marcus Williams makes the play on the far side. Chris Richard, the first man to hit him, and Oalete, the second man to hit him.
16 yards and Cougar first down.
Well, you'll see number 42 drops back, takes his eyes off Marcus Williams. Completely looks the other way. Well called and a great execution under a lot of pressure by Steve Birnbaum.
39-yard line, first down. Williams has 5 receptions for 99 yards. Number 18, Curtis Nettles.
Curtis Nettles, number 18, the intended receiver. All season long.
Time now starting to become crucial for Washington State. 4:28 time remaining. It'll be second down and 10.
Squad as well. Great performance they've done for all this year.
Well, Ennis Davis, number 99, even if no one else is getting in there, he's a pressure. He's a monster in the middle, and he's always a factor that Birnbaum's worrying about.
Second down, 4 wide receivers, 3-step drop. On target is Williams again. He's become the main man. It's a yard shy of the first down as we go to New York and John Saunders. John.
Charlie, it's time for the Burger King play of the day. Ron Dame's run for the record. Here's Tim Brandt with the call.
Dame. The big boy.
Look out. Ron Dame. He needs 23. He's across the 40. Open up the history books. Here comes Ron Dame.
Ron Dame now stands alone. 6,368 yards. He's the record holder. Back to you, Charlie.
And we pass along our congratulations. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Charlie Jones, Nick Lowry with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in this Pac-10 ball game. We're checking on the Stanford score. Stanford was way out in front, and we'll be checking that with New York in just a moment because we have a little swing into the flat. And it is to Leifert Hackett, and he goes out of bounds, stops the clock. We go to New York. John.
Well, Charlie, as you know, things are wide open in the Pac-10, but Stanford had something to say about that tonight. Todd Husak, 19 yards to Troy Walters, takes it in for the touchdown. It was 33-17 at that point. 50-30 is the final. So now Stanford, with a win over Cal, will be in the Rose Bowl. Charlie.
Arizona State is eliminated. Thank you, John. And, boy, Stanford, they have it right in the palm of their hands. The game, the big game, next weekend against Cal. And, I'm not sure it could get any bigger than it normally is, but we'll look at the Pac-10 standing. And it's Stanford, Oregon, Washington, Arizona State. But Stanford is a team with 1 loss. They're 6-1, and that's how it all spins around. And they beat Cal. They're in. They play in the Rose Bowl with a great offense and a very suspect defense. They're what? Last in the nation defensively out of 114. See, it's offense that wins games, not what coaches tell you. Taylor with the reception. And here come the Cougars. Now, the margin here is only 10, 31-21. By the way, congratulations to UCLA, winning in overtime. over Washington today in the Rose Bowl, and they will meet the Trojans in the Coliseum next Saturday on ABC. 3.5 minutes in counting.
We got to give Steve Birnbaum credit. He's being patient, and 42 Chris Richard over on USC is giving both number 8 Marcus Williams and Nyan Taylor plenty of room. He's giving him a 5 to 10 yard drop most of the time.
Burnett comes out. He's limping just a bit. Incomplete. Marcus Williams, the intended receiver, along the near sideline. That will stop the clock now with 3:09 remaining. You could go back to a couple of plays, 2 or 3 plays that really make the difference. Remember when Birnbaum was, he would have been caught for a safety and he threw it up for grabs, and Richard with the interception and the touchdown. Rather than 7 points, it would have cost them 2 points. And then the touchdown that they didn't score, or that wasn't given to them, well, in that case, they probably would have gone with a field goal because it would have been so much closer. We could have ended up at a ball game now. It's like 26-24 for the Trojans, leading by 2, which makes all the difference in the world at this juncture, now with 3 minutes and 9 seconds left. They were running out of time on the play clock, had to take the timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Five wide receivers, 3:09. Time remaining. The difference is 10 points. Right on target again to Marcus Williams. Williams, who has really asserted himself here in the second half of this ballgame. We were talking about the Pac-10 and Stanford. They hold their own future in their hand. They have not been to a Rose Bowl game in almost 3 decades. It was 1971, and they won in the Rose Bowl. Their quarterback was the great Jim Plunkett in his Heisman Trophy year. Now at the 10-yard line. 3-step drop, pressure from the backside. Pass is complete. This is number 41, Zubidi.
Marwan Zubidi with that catch.
And Rideau makes the stop. And here is another look. The fake, he thought the defender was much closer to him. He gives him an inside-out fake because there's nobody there to take the fake. You've got to know where the defenders are.
Getting back to number 8, Marcus Williams, is not just their height. It's also the length of their arms, their vertical jump. This is a guy that gets bigger and expands when he goes in the air. So he's not only got his size to begin with, but he also is more athletic when he gets up there.
7 receptions, 121 yards, averaging 17 yards a reception. With 3 touchdowns, only 19 receptions coming into the ballgame. Thanksgiving weekend. Hey, it's special. El Nino, Sergio Garcia. What a neat young man he is. He competes in his first Skins game. He's joined by Fred Couples, Mark O'Meara, and David Duval. That's a great foursome. And one of America's favorite Thanksgiving traditions on ABC Sports. That'd be a great foursome to play in, you know, kind of sneak along. That'd be great fun.
Garcia's just going to get better, too. You see the way Tiger Woods has come on this year after getting a little bit of breeding, you know?
What a year Tiger has had. I give all the credit to Butch Harmon, his coach. Because Butch is, he promises to help me with my game if I give him credit for it. But Tiger is awesome. He's a great talent, and boy, he's an interesting young man. Tough competitor.
Speaking of breeding and experience, this Washington State team has some things to look forward to. They have about 20 redshirt freshmen. About 20 different freshmen will play tonight for them. And, you know, they're playing with some poise. They've not given up, and their offensive line has continued to move the ball for them.
Cougars trail by 10. They can still win it, or at least tie it and take us to overtime. 5 wide receivers. Pressure. More pressure. Incomplete. That was second down. It was Ryan Nielsen who put the pressure on Steve Birnbaum. Leifert Hackett was the closest intended receiver. So it's third down. 2 more opportunities. All right, now the Pac-10 today to kind of wrap it up. Oregon wins. UCLA wins. Stanford big over Arizona State. And the Arizona-Oregon State game, and they're out of the race, and that one is just underway. And here, of course, it is USC 31, and Washington State 21. Blitz is coming, picked up. Here's the fade, and it's overthrown. Did he turn and make it? Did he make the play? Oh, yes, Nyan Taylor, way overthrown. Had to spin away and makes the play over Richard.
Charlie, at the highlights at the beginning of this game, we showed a pass from Drew Bledsoe, the same kind of pass where the quarterback's got to throw actually back towards the field. You'll see this pass, and it comes over his outside shoulder, and he turns, makes a tremendously athletic move. Those are the two top receivers. 82 and 8 have been the test. They've been the leaders for this team.
And the extra point to pull the Cougars within 3 with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left in the ball game. What a comeback by Washington State. Let's take another look at the pass.
Steve Berman seems to show a lot more poise and touch on these 20 to 30 yard passes than he does the really short ones. That was absolutely perfect and very well played by Taylor as well.
An 82-yard drive, and Birnbaum on that drive completed 8 of 11 throws. And he has pulled along with Nyan Taylor. The Cougars within 3 of the Trojans, 31-28 with 2:14 left to go.
Charlie, here are two teams that are battling the ghosts of the previous games this season. It's got to feel like a lead weight for USC, knowing that they've let so many teams come back from behind. This is going to be their character builder. If they want to win and finish the season 6-6, they can't worry about the last 2 games. They've got to have it and beyond right now.
And now the second guessing begins before the onside kick. Remember when the Cougars were right at the 1 yard line, right at the goal line? Did they go in? It wasn't given to them, but it sure on the replay looked like it. Or should they have kicked the field goal? And if they did, we'd be tied right now. Here's the onside kick. It is recovered by USC. Has to go 10 yards for the kicking team to recover it, or if it's touched by a receiving team member, it can be recovered at any time. This was Wendell Hayes. They call it the hands team. That's all your wide receivers and your running backs who are used to using their hands, and they are up to capture the ball just like Wendell Hayes did.
A tough decision for Mike Price, but when you're down by only 3 points, if you've got some confidence in your defense, you get a shot. You got a kicker that can kick the ball almost 60 yards. Here we are at altitude, over 2,000 feet. Tough decision.
Probably one of the reasons he went with the onside kick, he has only 1 timeout remaining. If you'd had 3 timeouts remaining, then you can kick deep and leave it up to your defense to get you the ball back. The flag is down on the play. John Fox keeping the ball. One of the reasons for that play is he simply doesn't want to fumble. You don't want to risk a handoff. The quarterback keeps it. He turns and he runs with it, and he uses up as much time on the clock as possible.
Well, I love the call. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Give John Fox a chance to do what he does well. He's a big guy. He can run the ball. Talk about upsetting.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
They haven't had a chance to put in the option, but boy, if they had 1 or 2 option plays here near the end, it could seal the victory for them.
The down will go over. 156 and counting. The clock on its inexorable march to 000. And a straight run into a pile of humanity by Chad Morton, who has scored 3 touchdowns in the ball game. Defense led by Grady Emerson.
Grady Emerson has been criticized because he's too small and he's this and he's that, but he makes plays. He's only 6 feet 200, but he stuck it in there, made a big play.
Grady Emerson also.
He's filling some big shoes, too. Rayono Smith was just an awesome player, number 30, but he's out, and Grady's done a good job backing him up.
We're moving on the 1 minute mark, time remaining. Here's Morton. Cover up the ball, don't take any chances. And now the Cougars will use their last timeout. And we have 55 seconds left. Your scores at the bottom of your screen. Marshall winning 31-17. And we have time for today's Chevrolet players of the game. Chad Martin, 3 touchdowns, which ties his career high for USC. He rushed for 114 yards. And Dion Burnett, who rushed for 96 yards in 24 carries. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And beginning this year, Chevrolet will also donate $1,000 to 2 high schools. So congratulations to Chad Martin and to Dion Burnett for their outstanding performance here this evening in Pullman, Washington. 55 seconds left. The margin is 3 points. The Trojans of USC 31 and the Cougars of Washington State 28. On an absolutely perfect evening. The weather here has just been tremendous. At the kickoff at 4 o'clock this afternoon, the temperature was what, in the upper 60s? It was chasing 70 degrees today.
Well, I'm sure they're probably going to run this just to try to use some clock up. But who's to say that throwing down the field isn't really that big a risk right now?
It's still only 63 degrees here for the ball game. Chad Morton, 48 seconds and counting. Now the kicking team will come out. Tomasi Kangaika and Curtis Holden were there. Mike McGillivray will be punting. And Leifert Hackett is the return man. There's Leifert.
If you're Mike McGillivray, you're going to kick the ball out of bounds. Don't even think about it. Don't give him a chance.
There's pressure. He carries it into the end zone, and it will be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Could not stop the momentum. 51 yards on the kick. The Washington State will have one final opportunity. That was Daryl Rideau, who was downfield in time. Should have tried to just nail it with his hand and bounced it back, keeping the field of play. 13 seconds left, and it's right down to this couple of plays that are left.
I don't understand kicking that ball, giving them a chance to have the big return with only 15 seconds left in the game. He got off a good punt to his credit, but that could have been disastrous.
5 wide receivers, 3 on the far side, 2 on the near side. Four-man rush. Plenty of time. Over the middle. And that will run out of time. No, that will pick up the first down, so that'll stop the clock, picking up the first down. 5 seconds left. Now the Cougars will really have to hurry to get this one up.
5 seconds to go.
They need a 4-second pattern. Now he's going to have to be able to throw the ball 70 yards, 65 to 70 yards to have a chance.
2 seconds left on the clock. For this final play of the ball game, here's the time remaining. The Trojans have their 3-deep defense, and they're getting deeper. They're back at their own 20-yard line. 3-man rush. 3 wide receivers, Hail Mary on the far side. Just putting it up. There is bumping. That will be a defensive foul. You cannot end the game on a defensive foul. The Cougars will have another opportunity. And this one much closer to the goal line.
This will give them a 52 to 53-yard attempt. The bumping was at about the 35.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. The corner will be extended.
Now remember, in college football, on a pass interference call, if it is inside of 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, it's spot of the foul. If it's beyond the 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, it's a 15-yard penalty. So now the ball is at the 49-yard line. So still a distance to go.
That's a new rule this year.
No.
Right? No?
No, it's been this every year. 3 wide receivers again. And here we go. Has a man open. Defense closes on him. And it is Marcus Williams, the intended receiver. The play ends. It is incomplete. And the Trojans win it. But we did have a lot of excitement. All right, ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Once again, the final score, Trojans win it 31-28.
What an extraordinary